Earlier today, we played the Alien Survival Mode, and man, it was kind of disappointing. I then moved on after playing that to the Rampent rocket. Now, I knew this vehicle was going to be nothing great. It is definitely a vehicle that is very one-dimensional and sort of unique, but I was hoping it would actually be good in its one dimension. But naturally, Rockstar had to disappoint me again, because it is not good at all. Now, the new Rampent rocket, it comes in at a price tag of $925,000. So, for all intents and purposes, $1 million when you add the upgrades. But what do you even get with that basically $1 million? Not really a whole bunch. I believe there's only 2 customization options on this vehicle. The engine, or the little hood scoop, whatever you want to call it, and the liveries. Now, you do have a primary and a secondary, which you'll see. The primary is just like the top, secondary is just the bottom, I believe, or it's the other way. But there's really no other customization. It's all performance upgrades. I will say, though, however, the liveries are kind of cool. I'll go through them a little bit more in depth here. And you can see, if you're reading some of the little text snippets on them, they're kind of funny. They're kind of cool. So I will give Rockstar props for the liveries on this vehicle, but really, that is it. I mean, I do also want to say that the liveries are kind of unique to this vehicle. Like, I love the cigar livery. That one is such fitting. Obviously, I think it's the big ol' wiener one. I mean, that's just classic Rockstar. And then they have the poppin' cherries, and they got some good liveries. They do fit this. But again, that's it. Now, where this thing just falls apart is its performance. I was hoping, because when you look at this vehicle, you obviously should realize it's not going to be really good for driving around. The handling is probably not going to be that great, but you're thinking it looks like a drag vehicle. This thing, you're thinking, should be like one of the best drag vehicles in the game. The entire purpose for this vehicle is to drive in a straight line. So you would think driving in a straight line would be one of its strengths. But in typical Rockstar fashion, it's not good. At least when you compare it to some of the other vehicles in the game, especially some of the other bikes. Man, here we have it against, at the top left, I believe that's the baddie. Top right, we have the Sanctus. I'm sure there's some other bikes that are better than those two, but just for comparison's sake, I wanted to compare it to those two. This Rampent rocket kind of gets smoked by those two. This thing doesn't even get over 100, I believe, 7 miles an hour. I think that's the fastest we got it to. While the other two got to the upper 1-teen numbers, like 117, 116 or so. So if you were buying this vehicle just to have probably one of the top of the end drag vehicles, you're not getting that. And that was such a disappointment. I was really hoping this would be, despite all of its other negatives, would be one of the fastest vehicles in the game. Just because of the way it looks and the engine in it, perhaps. But nope. And speaking of some of those other negatives, I mean, look, again, the handling is not good. I mean, you should just expect that. That's really not even a knock on it. It's just the way this vehicle is. It just does not want to turn. Another negative, and this is kind of a big negative, unless my game was glitching out or I just wasn't doing something right. Despite this being a motorcycle, it does not show up in your motorcycle club menu. So you can't even call this instantly through the interaction menu, which makes absolutely no sense, considering you can bring this to your MC clubhouse and store it in there, which makes no sense because it's a freaking huge bike and it literally takes up the entire space. You'll see here, I decided what would happen if you put 10 of these in the clubhouse. And let's just say the clubhouse was not meant for that. It gets real claustrophobic, I guess you could say, in the clubhouse when you put 10 of these in here. Matter of fact, when you drive in, I got locked in, basically. I got trapped because these things are so big and large, so she said, they like overlap each other. They start glitching out. You can't move them. And it's just a whole big thing. So, like, I know that's not necessarily negative, but it's just that's a Rockstar logic. So needless to say, I would suggest not, if you do get one of these, not putting it in your clubhouse, or at least put it in the back so it doesn't block access to some of your other motorcycles. Another negative is the fact that this kind of performs like a crappy car, but because it's a bike, you can fly off of it. So not only does it not handle well, but if you hit things, you will go flying off of it, which is not good. Like, maybe if they would have somehow put a seatbelt on this and you don't fly off when you hit things, it would have been a little bit more bearable because the handling is so bad. But because the handling is so bad, you're constantly hitting things, especially NPC drivers, and you're constantly flying off your bike. So it's just, again, it's just not a good vehicle. Don't waste your money. A list of some other negatives that just, again, make this vehicle not good. It can't wheelie, so it's a bike that can't wheelie. If you do hit a ramp or something and get in the air, it's really wonky. It does not really turn at all. You can't tilt it or anything. You can't even reverse it, which makes no sense because it's got 3 wheels, so you can't reverse it normally. You have to slowly back up, which is unfortunate. And of course, it only has 1 seat, so you can't even bring people around with you. So it's not good. It is a complete useless vehicle. It's completely a waste of money. And unless you want a complete waste of money, don't buy this vehicle. Now, before we wrap up this video, of course, let me know your thoughts on the vehicle in the comment section below. But quickly running through the actual event week, because it's a pretty big event week. You got a bunch of stuff. Obviously, this vehicle was released. Obviously, the Alien Survivals were released. There are some Halloween bonuses. You have double rewards on a bunch of the Halloween modes that were released over the past couple of years. It says specters of Halloween's past are returning. So the hearse, the Frankenstein, and Halloween masks are all 35% off. And you'll find them on the various websites and at the mask store. You get these 2 t-shirts by just logging in. So those are kind of some cool t-shirts. The Sanctus is the vehicle on the podium, and that's a very expensive vehicle. So if you can get it for free, I would definitely do that. It's a pretty fun little motorcycle as well, and it looks great. There are some new Halloween-themed casino store offerings, but I don't think they specify like which ones are which. So it was kind of confusing for me when I was going through them to figure out which ones were Halloween. Like, I didn't know if, I mean, obviously some of the sculptures are like a little skeleton head. Obviously that's like Halloween related, but it doesn't necessarily say that. So I wasn't sure if that was already in the game or not, but it says they have some Halloween stuff. So you might want to check out the casino store if you're interested. Here are all the discounts. Again, most of the Halloween stuff. And then you have a bunch of supercars and other vehicles. Some of these are good. Some of these are bad. But if you're interested in any of those, you get 30 to 40% off. And then the Twitch Prime discounts 80% off the Weaponized Tampa and 85% off the box fill. Honestly, even with those percentages off, those are not very good. The Weaponized Tampa is okay, but the Armored Box Fill, it's not armored at all because it blows up at 1 bullet, 1 RPG. So maybe save on those. But that is the event week. That is also the Rampant Rocket. So far, Rockstar's disappointed me twice. We still have the peyote plant stuff though, which I will check out. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully I can get that video out today. I think there's like 72 of those spots though, so that may be a video that comes out tomorrow. But as always, thank you for watching. Please drop a video like if you did enjoy. I'm doing that $8 million Sharker giveaway on my Twitter still, so go enter to win if you want a chance to get that. But as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.